This is The Buzz. I'm with you with Whitney, and today with me is fitness trainer Sharon Jessop. Sharon is a true example of a dynamic leader that is passionate about one's health, wellness, including one's spiritual and mental being, and standing out in the crowd. Sharon has brought such an amazing energy. We're very thrilled to have Sharon in studio with us. As I interview Sharon, listen up. Sharon, tell us more about yourself. Thank you for being here and thank you for honoring the invite.
Well, absolutely. Like I said, thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure to chat. Well, what do I say about me? I'm a fitness fanatic. You know, I always say to people, I'm addicted to being healthy, which everybody should be, right?
Correct.
Other than that, I'm an ultra runner. I run far all the time. I love it, love a challenge. You know, the human body is made, it's designed to be challenged. Otherwise, it just kind of stagnates. And then, of course, I'm a very, very avid nature lover. I am super passionate about conservation, more specifically rhinos. You know, my big dinosaur babies. Absolutely love rhinos. I am obsessed with rhinos. So yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell, hey?
Sharon, I'm smiling because when I was about to read through nature and everything, and what gets me actually to ask you this question is that apart from being with the projects that you have been part of, can you also share a little bit about that project? Because Rhino was definitely one of them. you ran like so many parks. You've experienced this nature. Like you're saying also when you're having a chat is that fitness and being outdoor is everything to you. Speaking about rhinos, where did that love come from?
Okay, so quite a few years ago, I think for my sins in a previous life, I had a show on television. You know, our local community station. It was back then, it was Bay TV. Now it's in Pumakapa TV. And it was all about travel, tourism, fitness, health, wellness, conservation, and communities. And I interviewed one of my favorite humans on earth, Dr. William Folds, who is just fantastic. I mean, that man, his presence is just so comforting. You know, he's a big guy and he gives the best bear hugs. And he really got me interested in rhino conservation. Because let's face it, we all care, right? We all care. But what are we doing? And then he convinced me to watch the documentary called Strip, meaning to poach, that was made by Susan Scott and Bonnet de Bod. And it's about a 2.5-hour docu. It took me about 4 hours to get through it because I had to keep pausing that video to cry. I went through such a range of emotions, and I'm not normally a very emotional person. You know, I'm passionate, but I'm not emotional, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And that was my point where I moved from caring about rhinos to doing something. And that prompted my running expeditions for rhino conservation and running through all these epic, beautiful parks, which is a combination of provincial, privately owned, and sand parks.
Yes, sand, definitely.
And connecting them in a virtual stronghold of rhino conservation. And interviewing these epic people, connecting with these epic people while following all my passions, being nature, being fit,
Correct.
being mentally fit as well, and doing something for conservation and raising awareness and raising funds for these magnificent animals.
And I think it's also good that while doing these things, you are also giving back to nature, which is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Sharon, what are the basic fundamentals of taking care of your body?
Okay, so when we say taking care of the body, okay, as humans, we like diamonds. We're multifaceted. So there's various elements that you have to look at. Obviously, you want to be physically fit and strong. You have to be. And when I say physically fit and strong, I'm not meaning all of us need to be these big Arnold Schwarzenegger type bodybuilders. You want to be functionally fit. What do I mean by that? Okay, it is fitness that prepare you for your day-to-day life. So if we need to kneel down and scratch in a cupboard. You need to be able to do that without, like, having a pain in your back or stiff legs. If you need to run up a flight of stairs to answer a phone, you need to be able to do that. It is really getting your body to that stage where it can perform at the level you need it to perform at. Not everybody want to be like me and run 102 consecutive half marathons. Not everybody want to do what I did, running for 89 days through 28 game reserves, to and through, Not everybody wants to run a comrades marathon. What I always say to people is find what you love to do, whether it's dancing or hiking or running or playing tennis or playing paddle. This is the latest craze. Yes. Whatever resonates with you, all right? So that's the physical aspect. But what people forget, with your physical comes your nutrition.
Correct.
So you can't go and work out for 30 minutes, and then go and have a KFC burger.
Yeah.
Because you literally put yourself worse off as where you started. So you kind of want to 80% of the time eat healthy. Again, there's various forms of healthy eating. I prefer the ketogenic diet, which is your healthy fats, lots of them, and moderate protein and very low carbohydrates. That's what my body likes. But again, you might be different. Somebody else might be different. So do what works for you. And you need to figure that out as you go along. All right? And then a very important aspect, your mental health.
Yeah, that's
because
the one.
Absolutely. We often forget that we also have a soul. We have a spirit. And you have to take care of that as well. We need to be mentally fit. Or somebody like David Goggins, you may have heard of him. He talks about developing the mental calluses.
Correct.
So yes, you have the calluses on your hands from pushing the weights. But what about the mental side of things? The spiritual, the mind side. How strong are you in that? How well are you mentally? How well are you doing spiritually? And by spiritual, I don't necessarily mean religious.
Correct.
I mean taking care of your soul, doing what sets your soul on fire. And for some of us, like me, when I'm running on a trail, when I'm out in nature, I'm connecting with myself, I'm connecting with nature, I'm connecting with my higher self, which is my soul, my spirit. It's my soul food. So you hitting all of those things in one go, So that's so important, to also take care of the spiritual side of things.
Yeah, and sometimes we forget to take care of our mental health, which plays an important role when you're taking care of everything else. But the mental basically sets it off. Like it sets off the record in everything that you have just mentioned. The physical,
100%. You are so correct.
Sharon, I've got another question. What goes into maintaining a healthy, balanced lifestyle? Because some of us we do struggle in that, because we get into a shop where we're like, we can just add some of this food and just add it into a healthy lifestyle, but we're not choosing correctly, should I say, because we walk into a shop, we just think everything. Myself, if I buy things, I'm like, it looks okay. I'll just make it into my own mixture at home and just get it into a healthy food or healthy lifestyle, maintaining the one that I want for myself. So, and I think that's the question I want. What goes into it? What maintaining a healthy, balanced lifestyle?
Absolutely. So there's a few key ingredients, okay? By that, I don't mean necessarily food ingredients, but we'll touch on the food as well. So first and foremost, you've heard the expression garbage in, garbage out?
Yes.
And that goes across the board. So whether we eat it or whether we consume it with our eyes or whether we consume it with our ears, people have become, I think, fixated about bad news. So for me, it all starts with getting your mind right. The mental aspect of it.
Right.
All right. So often we allow the outside influences to affect us internally. You hear good news, you feel good. You hear bad news,
Correct.
you feel bad.
Correct.
You watch the news, you think, oh my gosh, what's happening in this world? This world's falling apart,
Yes.
But mean, you being in media, you would know that sensation sells.
Correct.
So you kind of have to be very selective about what you consume, what you read, what you listen to.
Correct.
It's got to feed your soul. All right. Your mind has to be right. We talk about weeding the garden of the mind.
Correct.
So take all the negatives out. And it's so much more than just positive thinking. You know, you've got to be aware of what you basically expose yourself to. So that's the first thing. Then secondly, in terms of your actual physical consuming of food, read your labels. I think that is the biggest most empowering thing that I can give people, or tip that I can give people. Read your food labels. Next time you go grocery shopping, when you pick that item up, check what's inside. And if there's things that you can't pronounce, put it down. If your first ingredient is sugar in any form, maltodextrin, lactose, glucose, you know, if that's the first ingredient or the biggest, put it down. You want to look at your plate and you want to see a piece of meat. You want to see a potato. You want to see broccoli. You want to see a carrot. Not like funny mush that you can't really make out what it is. And the other thing with your pre-cooked or pre-made stuff or your processed foods, all right, is there's always a lot of junk in it. There's preservatives in it, chemicals. Like we always say, why would you want to eat something that bacteria won't even eat? If it's not, if it cannot be decomposed naturally in nature, chances are humans should not consume it, right?
Yes.
Big thing. Then what are we putting on our skins? You want to kind of go as natural as possible, because remember, your skin is the biggest organ in your body.
Correct.
And if you put things on your skin, you know, like us women, we like to wear our skin care, we like to put body lotions on. Make sure it's as natural as possible, because you're absorbing those chemicals through your skin. And that goes for the gents as well, not just for the ladies, because gentlemen also use skincare these days,
Correct.
as they should, you know.
Correct.
But go as natural as possible, because one, it's good for you. Two, it's good for the environment.
Correct.
And then water. I cannot stress water enough.
Yes.
Guys, if you cannot wash the outside of your body with it, it's not classified as water. You know? So consume, for ladies, anything between 2 and 3 liters per day, and for men, between 3 and 4 liters per day. Water is the basis of us humans. We basically walking, talking blobs of water. 70+% of our bodies consist out of water. It is essential for every single process. If you're feeling a bit down and depressed, I promise you, have a glass of water. You'll feel better. If you have a dull headache, chances are you're dehydrated. Have a glass of water.
Correct.
If you're feeling sleepy, have a glass of water.
Correct.
And then another thing, speaking of sleep, try and get your 6 to 8 hours per night. And about an hour to 2 hours before bedtime, try and not consume media, be it a television, be it your phone, be it your computer. You kind of want your brain activity to, you know, settle down, and then you sleep well. And another thing, if you're one of those people that can't sleep in complete darkness, for me, I have to have either dead quiet and complete darkness, or maybe a white noise in the background, like a fan going, but no music, no television, nothing like that. Because that blue light, okay, that emanates from technology, your TV, your computer, that's actually really harmful to our mitochondria, which is the energy centers of our body cells.
Wow.
And they don't like the blue light. You know, we're already overloading our little mitochondria with bad food, with not getting enough exercise, with not getting sunlight. So if you're going to sleep with the light on, make sure it's a soft yellow light that looks more or less like sunlight, because that's what our mitochondria likes. Because at any given moment, those little mitochondria are ready to pack their bags and leave.
Yeah.
And that is essentially what makes us human, is our mitochondria, because they manufacture the energy that our bodies need to make our hearts beat, to for us to be alive, which is called ATP. All right.
Yes.
So you kind of want to do things and eat things that is mitochondria friendly. So it goes a little bit deeper than that.
Yes, I can hear.
Quite scientific. But what I don't want the listeners to be bogged down with is the scientific aspects of it.
Correct.
Do the right things, and the right things will happen. And then, of course, you need to make time for exercise.
Yes.
And when I say that, okay, not all of us have time to go to gym for 3 hours a day. I don't.
Yes.
Incorporate it in your day-to-day living. So when you have a quiet moment, do a few squats, do a few push-ups, basic movements, body weight movements. Those are the most dynamic, powerful things that you can do. You know, something as simple as a chair. You can do an entire full body workout just around a chair.
Yes.
Which is something we all have in our homes, in our offices.
Correct.
You know? And then for at least 20 minutes per day, you kind of want to get your heart rate up and maintain it there. And when I say that, I don't mean push it into the red, you know, too close to cardiac arrest. Just get it up, be out of breath, break a bit of a sweat, but you should still be able to maintain a conversation with somebody.
Correct.
Because you want to get that heart rate up. Remember, our heart is a muscle. Your heart and your lungs consist of muscle. How do you get a muscle stronger? You work it.
Yes.
You know? So I know I've said a lot of things now, but those are all things that people can start doing today. You can start drinking more water today. You can start walking today, you know? And your 20 to 30 minutes of exercise can be broken up during the day. Set an alarm on your phone, but make time. You know, one pet hate that I have is when people say, "Oh, I wish I was like you." That that you had. I need to get time to exercise. You know what? I'm a busy person. I make time to exercise because my health is a priority. Because I want to be here for my kids, for my grandkids, and I still have so much to give this world.
Yes.
So to do that, I need to keep my body healthy, fit, and strong.
Correct.
Oh, my body, mind, and soul.
And yes, Sharon, I want to touch on when you said gym, right? Normally when we go to gyms, we have this whole schedule. When we start the gym, we need to eat health, we need to have a diet plan. And my next question is getting to what I would love you to answer, is that do you think a diet plan can make a person happy mentally?
You know, there are those people that will benefit from the structure of an eating plan, okay? And then there's those that just won't abide by the rules. Because the minute we say diet, what happens in your mind? You feel negative.
Yes.
There's feelings of deprivation. You know, there's this feeling of doom and gloom, like, oh my gosh, I won't be able to eat this, I won't be able to eat that. So I prefer to change that brain chemistry. Let's take, for instance, somebody that's addicted to sugar, because it's a very real thing, right?
Yes.
Sugar is the most addictive substance on earth, believe it or not. More addictive than nicotine and cocaine, and it's socially acceptable. So instead of saying, I can't have that, let's change the narrative, because when you say I can't, it means you're the victim.
Yeah.
You are being prescribed to, right?
Yes, correct.
But if you say, I don't want it, immediately there's something that happens in your brain. You're taking control. It's your choice. You feel empowered. You feel like you have the power because you're making that decision. It's not some diet that's written on a piece of paper, or some dietitian, or some okie dokie at gym that says, you can't have that. You're a bad person. You can't have that. Take your power back. You simply say, I don't want it.
Correct.
You know, I choose to have water instead of a Coca-Cola.
Yes.
I choose to have whatever instead of a chocolate.
Correct.
You see, then you're taking the power back. So it helps with the mental health. It helps with the physical aspects. And the minute you start seeing results on your body and you feel it in your fitness levels, your energy levels, it's a magic thing, because then you want more of it. It's a healthy addiction.
Sharon, getting to the, and this is the part that I love, that I got so excited about, is that how was the experience running through 28 pick 5 game parks? I mean, we all go to nature. We all probably book us on hiking trails, game drives. How was that experience? Also bearing in mind the danger that comes along when you are running these parks. Like, how was that experience?
Whitney, to be honest, it was off the chart. It's not something I can even explain or express in words. It is truly something that you have to experience. And here's the thing, bar from the ostrich, Daddy, that, ran figures of 8s around me and barked at me because he was very concerned about his chickies, his little chickens, or little baby ostriches. I never once felt threatened by any animal. Us as humans, there's a few things we need to learn. One, we're not on top of the food chain. We need to realize that. We are part of the circle of life. We're not in charge. Nature is in charge. And nature will always triumph over humans. Always, okay, given the opportunity. So every animal have their space bubble that they're comfortable with, as long as you don't enter that space bubble. So I've literally run past a massive elephant bull that was standing in the bush looking at me.
My word.
And trust me, when you're looking at an elephant that's almost 6 meters high, 4 meters high, between 4 and 6 meters high, you feel very small. But because we're not posing a threat to this animal,
correct,
it's totally okay with you being there. And also, I run, obviously accompanied with an armed ranger, should something go wrong. And that's always the last resort. Always the last resort. But you respect nature. And if you respect and honor nature, it will respect you back. But the experience is not something I can put in words. It is phenomenal. It is out of this world. It is incredible. Running past rhinos, elephants, lions. It's just incredible. Giraffe. I mean, jeepers, giraffes are tall. My goodness. So it's really absolutely incredible. It's phenomenal, out of this world.
Sharon, another thing that before we go into a quick break, and I want the listeners to actually listen to this one. What inspired you to run these parks? What inspired you? Like, it's not just anyone that can just come up and yes, you're part of a lot of runs and marathons and whatsoever. But to select that? What inspired you? What is that one thing?
I looked at this whole thing of conservation and specifically rhino poaching. And I realized, and this comes with training your mind and taking control. And I'm one of those people that believe what we put out into the universe is what we receive back. So if we focus on rhino poaching, well, hey, guess what's going to happen? More rhinos will be poached.
Yes.
Which is why I changed the narrative. Instead of, raising awareness for poaching, I wanted to raise awareness about the beauty, showcase these beautiful wild places and green spaces to our South African people and also to the people outside the borders of South Africa. Because let's face it, we want dollars and pounds and euros. We want lots of those for conservation in South Africa. And also, I run through communities to showcase the communities and how beautiful our South African people are. So it was a dual thing, actually a triple whammy. It was the conservation, the communities, and also the rangers, the boots on the ground, to honor them. Because especially during the COVID lockdown, so the whole of 2020, most of 2021, a lot of these guys worked for reduced salaries, but they chose to remain there and look after these animals, which is such a powerful thing, So I just thought, you know what, let's inspire people. Let's make people want to step up out of the comfort zone, out of the ordinary.
Correct.
Think out of the box, and let's see what we can do.
Before we let Sharon go, we just have one last question, and then I would love to tap into the WhatsApps. So Sharon, this is the last question for you. What inspired you to run these parks? Also keeping in mind the danger, we've covered that. Sharon, then I also want you to, for our listeners, for someone looking to incorporate outdoor activities into fitness, what advice would you give them?
You know what? Invest in a good pair of shoes. running shoes, okay, or hiking shoes if you're a hiker. Although your trail running shoes doubles up as hiking shoes, right? But definitely invest in the right gear. You're not going to enjoy it if you wear your sneakers, your sort of casual sneakers, and you don't have the right clothing. Correct. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to overheat, or you're going to be too cold, and you're going to slip and slide on the pathways. Correct. So make sure that you have the right gear. Invest in yourself. So that is the one big thing. And then, guys, just get out there and do it. It's free. Nature is free. Get out there, enjoy it as much as you possibly can.
And then, Sharon, do you have any social media details that people can get hold? Just to experience this that you have experienced, or anything that you can guide them on, or any advice?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yes, I'm all over social media. My Instagram is called Run Wild with Sharon, because, I run in the wild and I'm a rather wild child. Also on TikTok, Sharon Tate Jessop, and Tate is Tait. On Facebook, the same. People can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me on my Run Wild for Rhinos group on Facebook. Please join the group. We do post amazing, fabulous updates there about rhinos and fun things to do with rhinos. I love educating people about these real life dinosaurs, because that's what they are.
Yes,
they've been on Earth for 15 million years in the same form that they are in now. So yes, people are most welcome to connect with me, pop me a DM. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer that. And then, of course, I also do peak performance coaching, which is mental coaching.
I love. That's beautiful.
Absolutely, because I believe that it starts and finishes in your mind. If you can think it, you can have it.
Correct.
What the mind achieves, or what the mind believes, the body achieves. And it goes, whether it's sport, whether it's work, whether it's life related. Our mental peak performance is where it's at.
So we have Sharon in studio. Sharon unpacked everything health, lifestyle, and beauty, and also tapped into the nature side. You have heard correctly. Sharon has hooked us up with all the details on a social media page where you can find her. What does she offer? I just want to read a couple of WhatsApps that came through, Sharon, with the question, a healthy life. How does a healthy life look for you, for my listeners? And these are the couple of responses that I've got. A healthy lifestyle looks like a morning jog, fruity breakfast, and gymming. That was from Anonymous. And then I've got another WhatsApp that says, hey Whitney, a healthy lifestyle for me is when I start eating green, drink plenty of water, taking daily walks, and detoxing every now and then. So that WhatsApp's got Sharon smiling in studio today. Thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing all your knowledge, and thank you once again for popping in and just getting the listeners excited.